Hello, and welcome back to Record of the Ear, the podcast where I shout my opinions into the void because none of my friends want to hear any of them. I'm your host, Ryan Lark, and today's episode is all on the debut album by the Pistol Annies, Hell on Heels. I just want to reiterate that I recommend you just listen to the album beforehand, and especially after, maybe even go song by song with me and listen to each track that I go over. I'm going to be giving it a rating out of 10, 5 being average, averaging all those up, and then giving it a rating out of 30 based off of recording, songwriting, and overall the album continuity. So let's get into a little bit of the stats and awards of the album. The album, like I said, is the debut album of the Pistol Annies, who are formed by Miranda Lambert, Ashley Monroe, and Angelina Presley. It was debuted in 2011 and quickly rose to number 1 on the country album charts and reached number 5 on the Billboard Top 200. It only had one single, which I thought was unusual, Hell on Heels, which hit number 55 on the US Billboard charts. I don't know why I always thought Taking Pills was also a single, but it has a music video, but it's not a single technically, which I didn't know. All of the tracks on the album were written by one of the three, Miranda, Ashley, or Angelina, although not all of them were writers on each track. As well as what's interesting about these three is that not all of them even sing or have vocals on every single track either. Sometimes it's just Ashley Monroe, sometimes just Angelina, sometimes just Miranda. Gives it a lot of variety within the album, and yeah, let's just go ahead and get right into the tracks. So the first track on the album is Hell on Heels, written by Miranda, Ashley, and Angelina, and features all three of them on lead vocals. The three kind of sing in unison during the chorus and then switch off on the other lyrics. It's got a really fun feel. It's got a slow instrumentals. In the background, the guitar is pretty slow, and then the vocals are kind of moderate tempo to fast tempo, which kind of gives it a fun, interesting vibe. I really love Angelina's vocals, and I think she has the better lines, honestly, in the part. But it gives it a fun flavor. She sounds almost like she's yodeling, and I think that's just her signature style. That's how she sings. Maybe I'm just partial to it, but I think it just gives it such a fun vibe and makes the whole track really work and make it really pop on the album. Not that it's a pop album, but you know what I mean. The song's about basically being a badass and being a badass woman. Miranda, Ashley, and Angelina are obviously very strong personalities and strong women, and this song just kind of emphasizes all of their ideals and how you need to be in it for yourselves and not really worry about other people because they can take care of themselves, or at least they should be. So it's just a fun song that shows you how powerful and fantastic these women are. For songwriting and recording, I would definitely give it an 8 out of 10. I know that I feel like that seems a little low because I think it's just a wonderful song, but I only do that because I think there's another song that's better that I would give it a higher ranking later on. I don't say that this is on that level, but yeah, this is one of the better tracks on the album. Although I think all of these tracks on the album are fantastic. They're just really good writers, first and foremost, and while they might not have the most incredible vocals, the songwriting really shines through here on this album. So track 2 is called Lemon Drop, and it was written by Angelina Presley and features her on lead vocals with the other two as backups. It's just a really fun song that talks about getting through the bad stuff in life in order to get back to the fun and sticking through things for the better days, which they actually say in the song. Also, I made a mistake. It's Ashley Monroe that kind of gives that fun yodeling vibe, not Angelina Presley on Hell on Heels. But yeah, Lemon Drop it's just a fun song. You can tell that they just love, or at least Angelina loves that song and just has fun with it, and it makes you just feel good. I would probably give it a 7 for songwriting and 6 for recording. They're not doing anything crazy with their vocals. It's just a fun, feel-good song that makes you want to, I'm almost just like skip down the sidewalk. I don't know, I just get that feeling from it. But yeah. The third track on the album is called Beige, written by Miranda Lambert and Ashley Monroe, and features Ashley on the lead vocals with the other two backing up again. It's a song about having sex before marriage and then getting pregnant and having to marry that person because you got pregnant. It's really about the shame that comes with that and everything, and all of the rumors and disappointing your parents, and having to get married to someone you don't even probably really want to get married, which is a very real problem that a lot of women still have to go through. And I think it's just especially prevalent with the shame, especially in the South, having to wear beige because you can't wear white, because that's basically like a scarlet A on your chest saying, oh, I just had sex, and that's why I have to wear this and not a white dress. I'm sorry I'm disappointing everyone. Ashley just gives such a good performance of this song. You can really feel the sadness in her voice, and I mean also in the backup vocals, you can as well. It's just so somber, and I don't know if I don't really know much about her, but maybe she's been through this, maybe she knows about it, but she just portrays that emotion so well. It like literally makes you want to cry almost the way she sings it. And just for that, I mean, I would definitely give it at least a 7, probably 7.5 for recording, and definitely an 8 for songwriting. She tells it in such a unique way, or they do, I guess, more than just Ashley wrote it, also Miranda. They just wrote it so well and so uniquely, telling about the shame, telling about the parents' view, telling about everyone else knowing that she's pregnant and this is why they're getting married. Which I don't think there's not that many songs about that. It's a pretty unique take on everything. So yeah, I just really enjoy the song. The fourth track on the album is called Bad Example, written by all three of the trio, and features all three of them on vocals as well. It's a real fun, dives back into the optimistic feeling of the album, away from the sad and depressing song of Beige. It's about standing out, not wanting to feel in, and not feeling less than just because you don't have what others have. You don't have as much money, you don't have the things they have, you don't have the life they have, or the personalities. It's just a feel-good song, fun song. It's nothing radical, nothing crazy, nothing too different. It's just a fun, feel-good song, like I said. For that, I'd give it a 6 for writing and recording. It is a good song. I mean, I would never skip it on the album. It's not that bad, but it's just nothing stand out and nothing that original in my opinion, which sounds harsh, but because I do like the song, but yeah, it's just nothing crazy. The fifth track on the album is called Housewives Prayer, written by all three, and features Miranda Lambert on lead vocals with the other two backing her up. This song slows things down again. It's about the hard life of a housewife, obviously, and gets into her personal drug and alcohol abuse because she can't cope with the way things are going. She's being distant from her husband. She's not able to take care of the baby how it should be. They don't have as much money as they need. She's been overworked and underappreciated. It's just a really, it doesn't have a sad feel, which is weird. It's got kind of like an ominous, weird feel, which kind of, I think it works so well because of the talk about drug and alcohol abuse that it gives it that weird, ominous feel. Like it's in an induced, under the influence state, which I don't know if that was intentional, but I just get that feel from it. And I really like the way the backup vocals are used, not constantly, and only used to basically emphasize certain words in the lyrics. It just works so well and gives it a really nice feel. So for that reason, I would give it a 7 for both songwriting and recording. The sixth track on the album is called Taken Pills, written by all three and features all three. It is not a single, as I previously thought it was, but it should be because it's such a fantastic song, and it really features all three of them so well. one of my favorites on the album easily. It's probably most people's favorite on the album. It's got a great music video that you should probably check out. It's so fun and so good. I feel like, well, first off, this is obviously a song about living fast and carefree. I feel like it's the song that if you asked them in a bar, oh, who are you? They would just like send you a clip of that and be like, this is who we are. This is really gives a background as to who they are, what kind of music they like, and what kind of music they write and sing. Gives an homage to each of their backgrounds, about where they came from, what they're like. It's got a great guitar feature on it, 3/4 of the way through the song. And it just really nicely features their vocals, and obviously their songwriting ability. Is just a really well-written song. For that reason, I think easily this is a 10 out of 10 for songwriting and 8.5 for recording. It's just, I mean, fantastic song. You should definitely check it out. If you know any song by the Pistol Animals, it's probably this one. The 7th track on the album is called Boys from the South, written by Miranda and Ashley, and features Miranda on lead vocals with the other two backing her up. It's just that same message of Boys from the South, we love them, yada, yada, yada. It is interesting, the stories they tell, just because, I don't know, I really just love storytelling, and they're just really good about it, doing that. And, I mean, Tennessee, Florida, Texas, Kentucky, they talk about all these experiences that they've had, true or not, who knows, but just the stories about these people and trying to find someone, and the good old boy is great, which I don't necessarily love that message. I think it's a little tired, but still a good song. If there is a skip on the album, this would probably be it for me. It's just not... It's not unique. It's fun, but it is. I mean, it is what it is. And for that reason, I'm gonna have to give it a 6 for songwriting and 5 for vocals or recording, I guess. The 8th track on the album is called "The Hunter's Wife," written by Angelina Presley, and features her on lead vocals with the other two backing her up. It's just such a fun song. About wanting her husband to spend less time out hunting and more time in the house. She wants a different life. She doesn't want to be eating all this game meat constantly. She just wants things different. The writing, this is the only song where I think the writing is not as good as the recording of it, which is not what I would expect because Angelina Presley is such a good writer. And this, I mean, just features her vocals so well. Her vocal stylings are so fun and so smooth. It just goes so well with the song. It gives it such a fun feel. And again, the backup vocals are very intentional, very well placed, obviously thought about, and it's just so good and so fun. It's not a crazy, unique message. Again, it's another one of the typical, I need my husband to spend more time with me, blah, 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 thing that I feel like is a little cliche now, although, I mean, maybe 10 years ago it wasn't as cliche. I don't know if that's fair to say right now, but just by today's standards, it's not that incredibly unique, but it's still just a fantastic song. It's so fun, and I don't know, I just love it. Like I say with almost every song that I review. So I would give it a 6 for writing and definitely an 8 for recording. The 9th track on the album is called Trailer for Rent, written by Miranda Lambert and features her on lead vocals. This is easily my favorite song on the album. It's about a woman, a wife, over the bullshit and wanting to get out of her situation, out of her marriage, out of her trailer. And it's told through placing an ad in the newspaper and hoping someone will take it. The husband finding out and trying to call her, being like, "What's going on? Why is this place being rented out?" And what's so fantastic about this song to me is the message isn't unique. We've all heard songs about someone wanting to get out of a situation. There's already songs on the album told about this. But the story is so uniquely told and told from a different perspective. It's what makes these people such good writers. It's something that I've talked about in the past, something that Dolly Parton does really well, and why she's so praised, because being able to tell a message from a unique perspective is really difficult, and they just do it so well in this song, and in such effective manner. And I mean, the vocals are nothing to rave about, but it just goes so well with the song. It's not sad. It's not like, yay, I'm out of here. It's you just the way the recording is that you can tell that she's just over it and she's done and she just wants out. You just get that vibe from it. It really just emphasizes and uplifts the lyrics off the page and makes it such a fantastic song on the album, which makes it my favorite. Even though I don't think it's the best track on the album. I think Taking Pills is the best track. I think it's my favorite still. So I would definitely give it a 8 for songwriting and 7 for recording. So the last track on the album, track 10, is called Family Feud, and it's written by Miranda, Ashley, and Angelina, as well as Blake Shelton, and features all three of them on lead vocals. The song's about a parent dying in the family, fighting over the will, fighting over everything that's left over, and tearing the family apart because of it. It's such a good song because the melody gives so many emotions. It evokes sadness, anger, frustration, all the emotions that you feel when something like this would happen, because you can't grieve because you have to put all that aside because everyone's fighting over everything that doesn't matter. Just because it's so superficial and it's so frustrating because it's so disrespectful to what the parent would have wanted. It really features, maybe not their vocals, but their ability to portray emotions very well in the song, which is why I like it and why I think it's such a good way to end the album. So I would definitely give it a 8 for songwriting and 7 for recording to wrap up the album. So my overall thoughts on the album, I feel like it's just like the quintessential female country album. It's classic country. You've got fantastic writing, good vocals, good recordings, short and sweet. It's only about 30 minutes, 10 tracks, features all three women wonderfully, features them all evenly as well, which is pretty unique and good because Miranda obviously has the bigger career compared to the three, at least as far as recording artist goes. It really tells a story of female empowerment and the struggles of being a Southern woman. You can tell it's obviously written by Southern women for Southern women, tells the struggles of each part of their lives very well. And that's like what I would say is the cohesive thread through the whole thing is female Southern struggles and what it's like being a woman in that time, growing up when they did, especially in the South. You've got a lot of references to misogyny. You've got a lot of references to shame. You've got a lot of references to wanting to get out of bad situations that they shouldn't have been in the first place and finally realizing it. It's just a very good and, like I said, quintessential country album. And obviously the strong suit here is the songwriting. The recording is good as well, but obviously their strong suit is definitely songwriting. So just for that, because it's such good writing, I want to give it a higher score, but because the recordings, I don't think it wouldn't be fair because the recording aspect of it isn't as good as the vocals or as the songwriting, and the cohesive unit. It doesn't really tell a story, and that's what I really like to see from an album. It just tells individual stories, and you get kind of an overall theme and feel from the album. So as a cohesive unit, I would probably give it, 7.5, which is a shame. But I guess that's why I have the other categories. So, okay, I'll just give it a 7. Which means for songwriting, it only ended up getting a 7.4, recording a 7, and the album I gave it a 7 as well. And that comes out to 21.4. And unfortunately, that does not beat Jolene with a 24.4, which I guess is still my favorite. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I don't enjoy it as much. I don't think it's as well done as Jolene. It's hard to be. It's Dolly Parton, and it's her best album. It's still definitely a very good album. And I recommend everyone go back and listen to it. Go back and listen to my comments and let me know what you think. Feel free to reach out and review and let me know there. I always see those reviews. And then I also have an Instagram that you can check out. It is Record of the Ear Podcast on Instagram, and you feel free to comment on whatever album posts that I put out and let me know your thoughts on things. Let me know what you agree, what you don't agree, what you might have given it. Anything that I missed, anything that I got it wrong, I probably did get wrong because, yet again, I emphasize, I have no one else to talk about these things to. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.